City of Valley Center Council meeting for November 16th, 2021 is now in session. Roll call.
Mayor Cicerello.
Here.
Councilmember Stamm.
Here.
Councilmember Evans.
Here.
Councilmember Davis. Councilmember Anderson.
Here.
Councilmember Gregory. Here. Councilmember Kerstetter.
Here.
Councilmember Wilson.
Here.
Councilmember Colbert.
Here.
Please rise for the invocation and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Dear Heavenly Father, I thank you for the men and women that lead this community. I pray, Lord God, that you would give them supernatural wisdom and discernment as they continue to make decisions that impact the people and the legacy of this town. I thank you so much for the blessing it is to be here. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All righty. Item 5, approval of the agenda. Before we do that, council, I want to switch under presentations. I want to switch A and B around and let the American Legion go first.
Move to approve the agenda as amended.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor, raise your hands. Motion carries. Thank you. Administrative agenda. City Council meeting minutes of whenever the last meeting was. November 2nd.
Move to approve the minutes of the November 2nd, 2021 regular council minutes as presented.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? All in favor, raise your hands. Motion carries. All righty. Moving on to presentations and proclamations, the American Legion presentation / Moving Wall Committee.
Mayor, City Council, staff, and members of the public. We, the Moving Wall Committee and American Legion Smith Phipps Post 73, come before you this evening to publicly acknowledge, recognize, and commend the City of Valley Center for your invaluable support, exceptional assistance, and unparalleled dedication in making the recent Moving Wall visit a success. Without your help, this could not have been accomplished. The Moving Wall Chairman, Ronald L. Colbert Sr., would now present the City of Valley Center with this memorial piece. And American Legion Post Commander Leroy Kammer would now present the City of Valley Center with this certificate of commendation. Chairman Colbert, would you come forward to make the presentation? And would the mayor please come forward to accept this on behalf of the city?
First of all, I'd like to thank everybody this evening for all the help they did give us on the moving wall, and especially to this young man to my right, who was really instrumental in getting everything we needed. Mayor, I'd like to present this to you.
Get on in there.
Yeah, get behind you guys.
Now you may add this to the city's trophy case.
On behalf of the governing body and the City of Valley Center, thank you guys so much. And as we all know, Councilmember Colbert, Councilmember Evans, really worked their butts off in making this happen too. All righty. What did I get? Okay. Moving along, item B, longevity awards presentation. Council, this is an anniversary presentation. I don't know if longevity is a good word or not, but I don't know. But go ahead.
Well, every fall during the League of Kansas Municipalities conference, they recognize staff of cities and then also governing bodies of cities, beginning at 10-year anniversaries and then every 5 years thereafter. And we did have 7, I believe, that received the longevity award. And this year, they are actually all out of the public safety department. So I'm just going to let Chief Newman introduce, and some of them are here and some of them are not able to be here, but he can kind of give a little background on them.
Good evening. I'm not sure about a background. I might give them an opportunity to speak. There's 6 tonight. 3 of the firefighters are working other places, so they were unable to attend. But I'd like to start off with James Crandall. Jamie is how I know him. So Jamie, if you'd come up. Jamie's been with our fire department since April 16th of 2001. I know he started off probably responding to fire calls more often, but now he serves another role or capacity, and another capacity is our medical officer, which is extremely important. He gives us feedback on calls of, not breathing, CPR, things like that. He's able to get the stats from the machines that they use, give feedback on that. He's kind of our liaison between the fire department and Sedgwick County EMS. Does that pretty much describe it?
That's correct.
So it's an important role for us to have. He's big on the medical side, and that's a majority of the calls that we respond to now. So it's a very important position, and we certainly appreciate his time and dedication.
Thank you.
I know he barely made it in. He had to drop one of the kids off at a sports practice and has to leave soon to go pick him up. So not here tonight is Grant Greenwood. Grant's been with the fire department for 15 years. He started his service on January 5th of 2006. Also not here tonight is Grant. I guess I'll give, as I go through these, I'll tell you, Grant just got hired by the Bel Air Police Department, so he's currently in the police academy, which is why he was unable to attend tonight. Chad Tormey, he started his service. He's also receiving a 15-year award. He started his service March 13th of 2006. Chad is one of our lieutenants on the fire department. He's also a career firefighter for the city of Wichita, and he's working this evening. So Lee Ludlam. Lee is one of our firefighters. He's getting his 10-year award tonight. He started his service in October, actually, October 26th of 2010, also working tonight and unable to make it. And then on the police side, Captain Vogt, he started his, we actually started pretty close to the same time, about a month or a little more than a month apart. He started his service with the city October 20th of 1995 in the police department. He started before that as an explorer. We had an explorer post, which is through the Boy Scouts, if you don't know what that is. And they work with the police officers and learn about law enforcement as they go along. So he started long before with that, but started his service in 95, has moved up through the ranks, starting off as patrol and then sergeant, promoted to sergeant in 2000. and then more recently to captain. So he's a big part of our police department and helps keep the daily operations going. So appreciate your service. Sure. Maybe you want to come up for a picture?
You got down there, Lou.
Come on up.
I'm proud of.
Yes, thank you. No, thanks for letting me be part of it. And we have one more, last but not least, the pièce de résistance. Wow, that's pretty good. His title, we've got to change his title. It's just way too long. But Public Safety Director and Chief Lloyd Newman has been here for 25 years, though he's disputing that. He says it's 26. Let's see, which one is that on? I don't see anything. I don't see any Post-it note I just took away. August 10th, 1996, according to those little Post-it. No, hire date was hang on, 11/28/95. I got it. I just had to get it into focus there. So yeah, I guess his math, he might be right on that. But we only have it for 25 years, so there must be some 1 year we didn't count you really being here. So.
Actually, we both started part-time initially.
That would explain it. Anyhow, we've all known what kind of a job Lloyd's done. I don't need to sit here and speak on it. We're glad you're still here. We're glad that all of you are still here. I mean, it does mean a lot. It shows a lot. And we are thankful of all our staff that's been around for such a long time. So, so with that, Chief Newman, thank you, sir, very much.
Perfect, thank you.
All righty, moving right along. And this is the time at which anybody here from the public has an opportunity to come up and speak to an item that is not on the agenda. Seeing none, we'll move on. We have no appointments, no committees and commissions. We're moving right along to old business. And it's ordinance 1362-21, rezoning of property at 2740 East Ford for the second reading. Any questions? I had to say, I don't need you. Yeah. Any questions for Mr. Schrack, since it is a second reading?
I make a motion to approve ordinance 1362-21, rezoning of land addressed at 2740 East Ford Street, Valley Center, Kansas, for second reading.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? All in favor, raise your hand. Motion carries. Thank you. Item B, ordinance 1363-21, rezoning property located at the northeast corner of 5th and Seneca for second reading.
I make a motion to approve ordinance 1363-21, rezoning of land located at the northeast corner of 5th Street and Seneca Street, Valley Center, Kansas, for second reading.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor, raise your hands. Motion carries. Thank you very much. Moving right along, under new business, item A, Gold Star Award. Boy, there's a lot of awards tonight.
As I stated earlier, Councilmember Colbert and I did attend the League of Kansas Municipalities Conference, and then we also attended the KMIT annual meeting that was held in conjunction with that. And I am very pleased to announce that we did receive the Gold Award again this year. That is in recognition of safety practices that our employees and the city follows through with to keep everyone safe and not have as many claims. And so we do get a small discount on it. And so we do have the award. They haven't sent the certificate itself. And then City Administrator Clark, I think, wanted to visit with it.
Good evening.
I think that Chrissy, HR, and all the employees deserve a round of applause for another Gold Star Award. And especially, our safety committee. Our safety committee has taken on a lot more responsibilities over the course of the past few years, making sure that we do have a extremely safe and productive workplace for everyone to achieve success in. So I come before you, Mayor, and Council, since we did receive the Gold Star Award for an extra day off, granting of the employees because of their hard work over the course of the year. We typically do it for Christmas Eve, of course, with Christmas Eve falling on Friday and Christmas on Saturday. Our holiday is actually on Friday, and so we already have Friday off. And so we are requesting the day off on December 23rd, that Thursday. So then we'd have Thursday, Friday off, and Thursday would be our Gold Star Day, since we already have Friday off per our handbook. In addition to that is also the $100 with after taxes bonuses to be paid for all full-time employees, and $50 bonuses to be paid for the part-time employees that earn at least 100 hours. So this is a nice token of appreciation for all their hard work and dedication throughout last year. Of course, you remember in 2020, we did have substantial, larger amount because of everything with COVID. And so this year we are back to kind of what we normally have done prior to COVID. So the pre-COVID set of days off as well as bonuses. I'll stand for any questions.
I move to approve granting one additional paid day off on December 23rd, 2021, and a $100 after-tax bonus to be paid to full-time employees and a $50 bonus to be paid to less than full-time employees who have worked at least 100 hours.
Second.
A motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? All in favor, raise your hand. Motion carries. Thank you. Thank you, staff. In a minute here, I won't be able to, hey, that's not a bad idea. Keep putting them up here. All right, moving on. Item B, Cedar Ridge Design Agreement.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Caught you that time.
I only wanted to do it once, so.
Before you this evening is an agreement between the City of Valley Center and Garver LLC. Garver will be doing the professional design services for the Cedar Ridge development. All these fees and everything will be wrapped into a really nice bundle when it comes to special assessments when we get through with the water, as well as the streets and the drainage side of this. And so what this allows for now is for Garver to really cut them loose and to let them go ahead and do the full depth design. Of course, as we proceed forward with this project, just like all of our projects coming up, PEC will still be our construction inspection services to making sure that they do comply with city standards. But this part of it is for Garver then to design the roadway, the drainage, and the water services per the specials that you passed via 2 resolutions a few meetings ago. The total dollar amount is there before you as well in a lump sum payment. I'll stand for questions.
Council, questions? Motion?
I make a
Oh,
motion.
sorry, Councilmember Wilson.
Oh. Brent, did I miss in here? Is this just for phase one or is this for the entire development?
This is for the entire development with Cedar Ridge. This is the one that has larger lots.
Oh,
And so there's only 27,
Okay.
I believe, total lots. And so
That's
this
right.
one will be all done
Single phase.
at the same time.
Art Marquez's property.
Yeah. No, this is.
No, or is
No.
this the other one?
No,
This is
no, this is Cedar
Cedar
Ridge.
Yeah, okay.
Can't keep them
No,
straight.
this is Cedar Ridge. The entrance will be coming off of Seneca Street.
That's right.
It's right south of Fiddler's Creek, so there's about 27 lots there. So they're not going to phase it out because of the type of homes and buildings that they're going to be constructing on this area.
Thank you, sir.
Hidden Valley will be on the next agenda for a very similar type of agreements and resolutions. Sorry, there's a few going on, so I apologize for any confusion.
Councilmember Kerstetter.
Doesn't help that they changed names.
No, that's true. That's also
'Cause
part of
this is
it.
formerly known as Dill Hill.
Dale Hill, yep.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's,
Only 2 final plats.
Yeah.
We're here though, and we're moving forward with the design services. So this is really the next step. So as soon as Garver gets all the design services done, then they will also go through, and this includes the public bidding process to then get the contractors on board.
I make a motion to approve agreement between City of Valley Center and Garver LLC for design and paving and water improvements for the Cedar Ridge Estates Edition in the amount of $117,600.
No second.
A motion is second. Any further discussion? All in favor, raise your hand. Motion carries. Thank you. Item C, final pay app for waterline replacement project along Sheridan.
Mr. Mayor, members of council, as a matter of procedure, we're providing the final pay application with Pearson, who is the contractor on the water line relocation. If you'll recall, this project was to support the Leakers building remodel and the storage facility expansion that you're seeing out under construction today. It's looking great. Pearson did a phenomenal job on the water line. Very pleased with their work. So if there are no questions, we would seek a motion for approval.
motion to approve the final pay application in the amount of $7,489.83.
Second.
We have a motion and second. Is there any further discussion? All in favor, raise your hand. Motion carries. Thank you. Item D, supplemental agreement for water tower inspections.
Thank you again. So if you'll recall, a few meetings ago, the council approved the construction contract for the water tower improvements, which is going to include the fantastic new exterior design as well as interior coating systems and some generally cleaning, deferred maintenance type activities. So the city's in the process of executing those contracts right now, working through bonds and insurance. It came up on the staff level, a request for inspection. So you're making this $400,000 investment in your water tower. One of the things that's really critical is inspecting all of the coating systems as they go in to make sure that you don't run into any issues. It's kind of a pain to take the tower down. You want to do it once and you want to do it right. So working with city staff, it is a specialized service, water tower inspection. Comes with a certification, National Association of Corrosion Engineers. That inspection service will actually be provided to you through KLM Engineering through PEC. So that was another item that we went back and forth with city staff a few times. So KLM's portion of the agreement is about 75,000. PEC's portion for administrating as well as carrying the insurance policy for the inspectors about 5. So our contract ends up around 80. It's standard hourly. We certainly hope to move significantly more efficiently than having an inspector stand out there for $80,000 worth of inspection. But want to be on the high end in case we do run into anything. We don't have to pause construction. So I'll stand for any questions.
Councilmember Kerstetter.
Yeah, was this not part of the original scope? Or why wasn't this included in the original budget for the project? I know we'll have a different contractor to do the painting and all that stuff, but was this not included in the original funding request, I guess, for lack of a better term?
I'll let Mr. Smith speak to the money, but I believe it's within budget, and then that's in large part due to the great bids that we got, the excitement from the contractors surrounding this. Our original agreement for the design and the administration services was like 2016. This project got put on hold for a number of years as we completed the water line replacement project. So PEC doesn't actually, our normal inspectors that you see out in our field service trucks, they're municipal infrastructure, more commonly streets, water, sanitary. These tower coating specialists are more of a niche inspection. So again, that's something that the city could have elected to contract directly with KLM Engineering for this, but going through the logistics with city staff and understanding that we're going to be managing the construction contract, we thought there was some efficiencies from a staff perspective in the time that it was going to chew up for PEC to just handle that. And that's how we're there. How we didn't have it in 2016, we don't have corrosion specialists on staff.
Either one of you. Or both of you.
So I think your question was more, why wasn't that in the original RFP when we sent that out for proposals to receive these services? Is that kind of?
So RFP would be more for the contractor, my understanding?
Correct, yep.
So
And-
mine was more for the overall scope of the project.
Yep.
Why didn't we allow for that in the budget?
And so what this is approving is for PEC to administer the services for the inspection services side. So the inspection services is also part of this agreement, and that wasn't a part of the RFP that we went out and bid for. Typically, those are separate agreements, just like what we just recently passed with the design services, and then we have construction inspections. Those are two different entities. And so this one is really with KLM to do the inspection services, as well as for PEC to administer the actual contract with KLM on behalf of the city.
I guess I'm not being clear enough. So we've got a total budget of, I'm going to go overboard because I don't remember all the numbers, $500,000. Okay. In that we have a contractor's amount, which we'll say is $400,000.
Yep, to do the work.
To do the work.
Yep.
Was this included in the overall budget?
When you're looking at the total money that we had remaining left over from the bond that's paying for this project,
Right.
yes, we're still within the total budget that we had allowed for the water tower project, including the supplemental agreement for the inspections.
Okay.
We didn't necessarily think that PEC was going to administer it, but after further review with our city staff, we just felt more comfortable with having them be the admin side
Right.
because of the bids coming in low is kind of, I think, maybe what you were looking for to begin with.
I think I know where he was confused. I totally understand where he was coming from now. It's not, it's really the addition would be the $5,000 for them.
Correct.
The 80,000 was part of the overall design.
Yes.
We
It
didn't
just
know,
wasn't
well, we
in-
didn't know what that number was, but that was part of the design. Is that
So
what
this
you were
is
trying to
approving-
ask, sort of? No?
We just have a total budget.
Okay.
Yes.
Where does this come into?
We're within
Okay.
the total budget.
All right.
That's all I needed.
Okay.
Mayor says you got the money, we got the money.
Councilmember Anderson.
This is like buying a new house. You get a home inspection. You don't get a home inspection from the person that built your house. You want somebody independent that's inspecting it. And what you're talking about, Dale, is when you buy your house, you pay this X amount. That home inspection is on top of. It's a different contractor.
Right, but you still get it from the loan. You pay for it.
Right,
from the
but
loan.
it's within the budget we have. But that's what you're saying. You don't have it inside that scope because it's an additional.
Yeah, you
You're
don't have,
asking, did we budget for this? Did we know this was coming? Yes, we did.
yes,
That's
But we
what
don't know the amount.
Right.
Right.
We accounted for it somewhere.
yes, we accounted for it and we're
That's-
within budget. We're looking great. Fantastic, actually. Should be enough room in the budget for the purple lights as well.
Just get them from Evergy.
I know.
You got plenty of purple lights.
Sorry, Mayor.
Yeah. Councilmember Gregory has a question.
Shouldn't the motion include the amount or the maximum amount?
Not to exceed. Mhm.
Right, right. Okay,
Good catch.
thank you.
And yeah, speaking of purple lights, why can't we just grab those ones that Westar is replacing and use those? Now, whoever said that, I just caught a glimpse of that in my head. but
Completely different type of light. but
I know it
appreciate
is, but we could have
If
just
anybody
hung them off
being-
the edge.
If
Right up.
anybody being frugal, I am probably the top one in this room. I would absolutely use those to do that, except for
Right off the edge of the tower at the top. We could have just circled the whole tower.
We can set up a separate committee for that, Mayor. Thank you.
No. All righty, council. Any other questions? We have a motion. Do we know what the total amount is there for the motion?
93,550, is that right?
No.
Well, I looked at the wrong line.
Yeah, that's,
So the actual supplemental amount is $80,250.
Yeah, I see what he's saying, because the new contract amount is 93.5.
Yeah, so our original contract, the design, the
Right.
bidding, the administration of the construction contract, that was covered under the 13. And then we didn't cover the inspection until
Okay.
now.
But what's the amount that needs to be in the motion? The 80?
8250.
Move
I'll
to
make a-
approve the PEC supplemental agreement for water tower administration and inspection services not to exceed $80,250 and
Second.
authorize the mayor to sign.
Now I second it. Second?
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor, raise your hands. Motion carries. Thank you very much. All righty. Item E, manufactured home variance request for River Valley Mobile Home Park.
Good
This is
evening.
This is another one, right?
This is another one, yes. So like we've approved these in the past, again, as mentioned and referenced in the staff report, the reason this is coming before you as a city council is because per our city code, and it's listed here, for MH1 or mobile home park zone property, we do not allow manufactured homes to be moved in that are older than 15 years old. As noted in the applicant's request letter, as well as my staff report, this manufactured home in question was constructed in 1998. As with the rest of these, what happens is once you as city council approve these, the applicant, Mr. Rick Mann, he will obtain a moving permit from the city, and that moving permit will include a moving route. It includes all the information about where this trailer is where it will actually be going in the mobile home park. Once it's moved there, then our residential building inspector also inspects it because there is a electrical permit associated with this, sometimes as well as other utility permits as well. City staff does recommend approval of this request to allow this mobile home park to be moved into the River Valley Mobile Home Park.
Councilmember Colbert.
Pictures are there as well.
Ryan, I just have two questions.
Yes.
Didn't Mr. Mann at one time in the last 2 or 3 years say that he wasn't bringing anything older than 1998 because of the 15-year requirement?
I don't recall that. I believe this is his fourth one.
It's the fourth one, yeah.
Yeah, I don't recall him ever saying there was a specific cutoff that he was going to go with.
He did say he'd have refab buildings, right? Trailers, I should say.
I'm sorry?
Refab trailers. In other words, they're fixed up trailers.
That could be the case. Again, based on the pictures, I don't think this one needs to be have anything significant done to it. I think it's move-in ready. Once it's moved here, obviously, and the utilities are hooked up.
I was just wondering because some of the side pictures of the.
I think you might be referring to one. I think it might have needed some window replacements and maybe some siding work done to it. I think I do recall that, but he hasn't mentioned that with this one, and it looks like it's in pretty stable condition to me.
Okay, and the second question is, you say he doesn't know what lot it's going to go in yet?
He's indicated, no, it is going in lot 21.
Lot 21.
In his letter, yeah, in Mr. Mann's letter, he does reference on the second line, located at 1341 South Meridian, lot 21.
Do you know if he has an agenda as to getting all these lots filled, say, within the next 2 or 3 years? or what?
I don't know what his timeline is. Obviously, I can tell you he's done a good job of cleaning the area up and making sure that the mobile homes that are moved onto into the park, that they are maintained, and that he's been very agreeable in working with city staff and making sure that he's following our procedures when bringing these in, especially the ones that are older than 15 years old.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Councilmember Kerstetter.
Yeah, any idea how many empty lots he has?
I think when we spoke to him, he said he had 2 or 3 remaining. I'm not sure. He might have moved some out. I'm not sure, but again, what'll happen is once the permit is approved, it will be inspected by our residential building inspector to make sure that it is appropriate per our building code.
I just curious.
I
how
think
many-
when I asked him the last time when he was here, I think he had 3 left,
Yeah.
is what I think he said. So this may bring it down.
I recall that as well.
Right, so this, I mean, and he was asking at that time, so there may be only 1 left after this one,
Maybe, yeah.
so.
I make a motion to approve the variance requested based on pictures provided by the application, by the applicant, and that the manufactured home will be inspected once installed by the city's residential building inspector.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? All in favor, raise your hands. Motion carries. Thank you. Moving right along, item F, Resolution 708-21, renewal of housing incentive program / commercial housing.
All right, good evening again. Very excited to bring this resolution before council this evening. The current the housing incentive program and the commercial housing incentive program are scheduled to expire on December 31st of 2021. We are requesting that this program, both programs be renewed for a period of 2 more calendar years to have a new expiration date of December 31st, 2023. And just as a brief recap, as stated in the resolution, the housing incentive program is for anyone that buys or builds a new single-family home within the city limits of Valley Center. They receive, as the incentive, 5 years, 100% city tax rebate of the city portion, 100% of the city portion of general property tax. So that does not include special assessments. It is strictly just the straight 100% portion of city property tax. How that works is they submit an application to my office as well as supporting documentation. I enroll them in the program and then do an annual review every year to make sure that everyone is current in paying their property taxes, and then work with our city's finance department on issuing rebate checks to them. With the commercial housing incentive program, again, it's 100% of the city portion, but it is for a period of 3 years rather than 5. And those applications are to be reviewed by city council, by you prior to us issuing an acceptance and approval letter. So I can tell you at this time, we have just under 50 properties participating in the housing incentive program, and with all of the commercial construction, anticipate some applications coming in relatively soon, probably within the next few months. But again, this resolution does renew both programs for a period of 2 years to end on December 31st, 2023.
Council? Member Kerstetter.
What's the percentage of applicants or approvals that are single family versus multifamily?
So right now, we don't have anyone enrolled in the commercial housing incentive program.
Okay.
That almost 50 that I referenced are all in the housing incentive program. So the single family home.
But when you
program.
say commercial, that's the multifamily.
Correct. Yeah. So a duplex, triplex, apartment building, anything that's not a single family home would fall under the commercial housing incentive program, and that rebate goes to the owner of that duplex or triplex or whatever the case may be.
I just like to focus on single family versus multifamily.
And we feel that this is a really good match. When we started the commercial housing incentive program last year, we felt this was a really good incentive to help in that development as well. Something good about renewing the housing incentive program is that a lot of communities in Sedgwick County are not renewing their programs. So this definitely gives us an edge in the fact that we are still, with council approval, maintaining this incentive for owners of single family homes to move to Valley Center.
Anybody else?
I make a motion to approve resolution 708-21.
Second.
A motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor, raise your hand. Motion carries. Thank you. Item G, Main Street closure request for Christmas events. All righty.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Just a request to close the 100 block of West Main Street between 6 and 9 p.m. on December 4th for our hometown Christmas event. We'll have the, going back to what we were doing before COVID, we'll have the high school madrigals and the Christmas jazz. We'll have a jazz band concert inside the venue afterwards. Main Street Coffee will be open for some hot chocolate and cookies, and And then, of course, we'll have Santa come in and light the tree for us. And so we're just requesting, because we're expecting a big crowd there in the 100 block, and we just want everybody to be safe and have that road closed. So I just request that if there are any questions.
Councilmember Wilson?
Chris, I was thinking I had seen some social media advertising that it had shown a time frame of 4 to 7. And I see that this is a request for 6 to 9.
But no, the event is for like 7 to 8:30 or so. But we're also doing a 1 to 4 p.m. inside the venue of pictures with Santa Claus that we don't need the road closed there. I'll have to look at if there's some conflicting.
Just
marketing
thinking about
out
the
there.
safety piece. I mean, if it truly is an event that's going to start at 4, I don't see why we wouldn't extend the time frame here to that. If,
Yeah,
if,
we
if
don't
you see
expect-
necessary.
Yes, we don't expect there to be an issue on street for the pictures with Santa because we're moving everybody in. It'll be inside of the venue. So
Sounds good.
Motion to approve the closure of Main Street on December 4th from 6 to 9 p.m. for hometown Christmas events.
Second, ho, ho, ho.
A motion and a second. Would any of the elves care to comment? All in favor, raise your hands. Motion carries. Tis the season.
Great timing.
All right, item H, ordinance 1364-21.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. At the beginning of 2021, an updated stormwater permit came into effect for the city of Valley Center. Along with the updated permit came new practices to meet our 6 minimum control measures. One of these measures has to do with the adoption of a custom stormwater design manual. This manual is concerned with providing guidance as to water quality features and other features within a development and or redevelopment project of 1 acre or more. So before you, you have a fairly lengthy updated stormwater ordinance, which along with that will refer developers to this said design manual for guidance and criteria for the treatment of stormwater for water quality, quantity, and other requirements prior to discharge from the development site. The ordinance requires developers to utilize options presented in the manual unless an alternate solution is approved by city staff, provided it meets minimum testing requirements set forth in the design manual. So the updated stormwater manual 1364-21 is being presented to you for first reading.
Any council from questions? Any questions from council? I think we can thank Nipidus for this too, partly, can't we?
I think we can. Yes, we
Okay.
can. I'll go with that.
Okay. No, he doesn't.
Kitchen.
No, we don't have to.
I'm Mitchell. Good evening, Mayor and Council. So before you is on, we placed and we decided instead of amending to repeal and replace. And so I wanted to make sure that that was clear as to what the first reading of this was. We didn't get a chance to change it on the actual physical agenda on the website. But what's in front of you is the same language except for instead of amending, where we have all these past prior changes depending upon which section. And this is now replacing and repealing all previous ordinances. And then so this is what the link was sent, and it'll also be on the website, that shows the entire chapter, the entire manual when it comes to the stormwater ordinance. And so repealing and replacing is something that I had recommended, and making sure that it's clean for future references. So then we're not checking back in 2006 or 2008 or 18 or whatever time that we changed a few things around. And so this is actually a first reading on this ordinance to repeal and replace, not amend, repeal and replace the existing stormwater ordinance as proposed. Any questions?
Oh, I don't know who came up first, so I'm going to go with Councilmember Colbert.
Yeah, I have one question. On the water treatment, have we kept an eye on Sedgwick County as to what they're doing since they're proposing something similar to this?
So I forgot to mention, so the design manual that we proposed was designed and patterned after the Sedgwick County City of Wichita Stormwater Design Manual, which is the manual that developers in the city of Valley Center have been referred to for some time now. So any and all water treatment requirements or testing requirements will be the same as what Sedgwick County.
Do you see any immediate change within, say, the next 6 months? Because they're doing a study on it from what I gather.
Well, if they're doing a study on it, the changes are not going to be immediate.
Okay. Thank you.
Councilmember Kerstetter.
So the one that we've had on our bench, that is the repeal and replace.
Yes, sir.
What's the highlighted portion?
The highlight portion is identifying exactly which sections and what changes from the original one is and what they are. And so when you pass the second reading, we'll remove all the highlights and then it's a clean copy. But for this first reading, we wanted to make sure to pull out what Rodney and the Stormwater Department had came up with changes.
And so for all the viewers we have right now, if they go to the link you're talking about, they'll be able to see the highlighted portions.
Not right now because that link isn't public, but once it's approved, then we will go ahead and publish that on the website for everyone to view. We didn't want copies out there that weren't fully passed and approved. Rodney?
Yeah, and to clarify, that link is only to the manual itself.
Okay.
What we sent along with that was the actual Word document of the ordinance that's in front of you.
Okay.
The manual itself is almost 500 pages. I'm not going to try to send that in an email.
Let's not do that. Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Move to approve ordinance 1364-21, repealing and replacing the existing stormwater ordinance for first reading.
Second. I have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? All in favor, raise your hand. Motion carries. Thank you. Item I, ordinance 1365-21, pet waste disposal.
Staying along the same lines, one other requirement that was put forth was with the new stormwater impetus permit was to approve a pet waste disposal ordinance specifying the immediate and proper disposal of pet waste deposited on public areas and in public. Now, the city currently had an ordinance against the human and pet excrement, but there was not verbiage in there for the immediate and proper disposal of said excrement. So what you have before you is the updated replacement ordinance that has that verbiage in there for the immediate and proper disposal. Yes.
Councilmember Kerstetter.
So this is only in here because of the previous ordinance, right? Okay. Because when I saw this, I'm like, do we have a problem with this? I mean,
It's a requirement for a permit, so we have.
right. I'm just, I didn't understand that they were together. So I
Yes,
thought,
yes.
I was wondering, do we have a problem with this and how is this going to be enforced?
So what we did, instead of writing a whole new ordinance, we took our current ordinance,
Okay.
amended it to add the immediate and proper disposal.
How will this be enforced?
I'm going to refer to Chief Newman.
Because having our police officers police that is kind of a waste of their time, isn't it?
If I had to answer that tonight,
Complaints? Okay. I do like the verbiage saying public areas and I forgot the other one, but anyway, that's all I had.
And of course, on our brand new Valley Center City app, there is a report of concern function on that app. And so, the general public can, take the opportunity to go ahead and take a picture, of the general location. And if that person is able to be identified in that picture, then that would give us an opportunity to then go ahead and enforce this a little bit more as well. So make sure you go onto the city's website, valleycenterks.org. and download that city app, and you can report a concern, just like any other concern that your heart can even dream of. So go ahead and put that on there, and it gets sent right to the proper departments that we can enforce.
To your comment, Councilman Kerstetter, in the permit, it actually states only in parks, public parks
Okay.
and areas, and we deemed it appropriate to add all public spaces.
Well, no, that's fine. I just, yeah.
I understand.
Councilmember Evans.
Trash talk.
I just wanted to say, I think it's sad that we had to actually do something like this, but I'm glad we got it enforced.
Thank you.
I'm an avid camper, and all the campgrounds I go in have to have this rule.
Yes, sir.
Whereas it happens.
I make a motion to approve ordinance 1364-21 regarding disposal of pet waste for first reading.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? All in favor, raise your hands. Motion carries. Thank you. Item J, you know what? I just realized he's making up for the month he wasn't here.
I know.
Yeah, yeah, don't be looking around.
Well,
You just piled this all on. It just dawned on me because we're up to J now and it just didn't even click until just this minute.
wasn't the first meeting in like a I or something?
Yeah.
H?
Hey, Mayor, we actually removed about 4 items.
Item
good.
J, authorization for KP&F retirement plan.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. This item here tonight is more of a formality. As you know, earlier in the year, for the fiscal year 2022 City Valley Center budget, we worked in the ability to adopt a KP&F retirement system for our public safety employees. That will take effect on January 1, 2022. But tonight we had to have it as its own item on the agenda with its own motion with a 2/3 approval from all council members. Once that vote occurs, we'll pass that on to Capers and they will start the process to getting us fully enrolled as of January 1. So all we're asking for tonight is just a motion to approve it.
Councilmember Kerstetter.
Just statement, this is a no-brainer. It's a long time coming. So a motion to approve KP&F retirement plan for all qualified Valley Center police and fire personnel effective January 1, 2022.
Second.
A motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor, raise your hand. Motion carries.
Thank you very much.
All right, moving right along to the consent agenda.
I make a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
A motion and a second. All in favor, raise your hands. Motion carries. Thank you very much. Moving on to staff reports. Mr. Schreck.
Nothing other than have a happy Thanksgiving.
Chief Newman. Thank you. Mr. Eggleston. Mr. Golka.
Mr. Mayor, members of council, for those of you who may have been missing our status reports, they are coming back. So we are in the process of implementing some operational improvements and how we serve as city engineer representative for Valley Center. As we approach a very, very busy construction season in the spring with development as well as municipal infrastructure, we are freeing up some resources at PEC to better serve the city. So what that looks like is Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, Brent and Rodney and Barry are going to have more access to the people that are in the office. They're not going to be buffered exclusively by me, but I am not changing my presence out here in one bit. So I will still be your city engineer, unfortunately. I will still be your city engineer representative and attending all the city council meetings. I look forward to continuing that responsibility, which I take great pride in. But we are taking some steps to improve the Monday through Friday 8 to 5 and our relationship with the city. So we will get back on track with these status reports. They will be better than ever, more detailed than ever. It's going to knock your socks off. You're going to love it.
Councilmember Kerstetter has a question. Just a moment.
What are the first two projects we have scheduled for the spring?
Oh, going to be Ford, the Ford reconstruction, the water line extension. That goes hand in hand with the Hidden Valley subdivision too, which is going to be served off of that water line extension. So right now we are actively coordinating with AT&T and Kansas Gas who are finalizing their replacement relocation plans, working through traffic control details on that. Many of their efforts will require road closures that are going to impact folks driving through town. Lessons learned from previous projects. We want to get that notice out early and often. So at either the first or the second council meeting in December, we'll have a full schedule and plan laid out for that and more information on what that traffic control is going to look like. I think the utility efforts are probably slated towards late January, early February, with a wrap up in March for us to roll straight into street reconstruction. So that will be laid out in greater detail as we work through some of those details with Kansas Gas and AT&T.
That's the first one. Second one?
Well, then you've got the streets and then you've got the water line.
But that's all one project, isn't it?
Right. I think that your Cedar Ridge development is probably right behind that, as well as some of the TIF improvement or the TIF district improvements that we're looking at. Everything's kind of coming to this head in the April, May timeframe for both residential construction as well as municipal infrastructure. And then we've got the Meridians kind of a year out from that.
So we need to warn everybody come March, there's going to be a lot of orange cones on Ford Street.
Stay away from Ford Street and Seneca.
And Seneca, right?
Well, Ford is going to be challenging.
Thank you.
Councilmember Gregory.
Have you made any headway on markings for the roundabout?
We have not. No. Now, I think in many ways it probably improves if you upgrade that purple light. I think that's challenging. It's my word of the night, challenging. Now I'll revisit that with Administrator Clark, and we'll reach out to Park City and provide a more detailed response.
Because I think when it snows, it's really going to be difficult to see where the roundabout is.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody else? Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Mr. Arbuckle. Mr. Smith.
Something real quick. Tomorrow we are wrapping up our first all electronic open enrollment, which so far has been fantastic. No more stacks of paper and brochures and health pamphlets and all that stuff. It's all right online, and thanks to IMA for putting all that together for us. And they even made a video that's narrated describing our plan for all of our employees so they can watch at home with their families and make the best decision they can for their health insurance needs. So.
All right. I don't think we have anybody left. Oh. Mr. Clark.
Good evening again, Mayor and Council. And also on that same note from Mr. Smith, we really want to thank him and all his departments, and especially him personally for coming up with the Valley Center intranet. And so all that amazing information is all accessible to our employees, and really the brainchild 100% of Barry Smith, and making sure that all of our SharePoint and Microsoft 365 that we invest in with taxpayer dollars, that we utilize it to the fullest. So really want to thank Barry for all of his efforts in that. And it was a seamless process, at least for majority of our employees. A few things coming up. Do want to make sure that it's on everyone's calendars. The Valley Center Community Foundation pie auction is already upon us. I didn't know if you realize next week is Thanksgiving. I lost October, so Thanksgiving's next week. So the pie auction is Tuesday, like it always is, before Thanksgiving. So that will be at a new venue, and it'll be at the venue here right next door to us. The gates open at 6:30, so you can go around and sample all the delicious pies. And then 7:30 is when the live auction begins. So bring your checkbooks. They are all tax write-offs. It's getting down to the end of the year there. You might need to have a few breaks. And so making sure that it goes to a great cause like the Valley Center Community Foundation. Dr. Frank Miller and myself will be there again, not Frank in person, but he'll be helping me because I cannot bake. So he'll be baking the pie and making it. It's actually his birthday, so he won't be there this year for us to try to auction off. And our goals to not be the bottom pie as far as total amount raised, like we may or may not have been in 2019. So again, 6:30 on Tuesday. make sure you come and see us all at the venue. Then also on Thursday, on Thanksgiving, will be the community Thanksgiving meal. I want to make sure to let people know that will be at the community center starting at noon, go from about 12 to 1:30. And thank you to the Valley Center Lions Club for putting that on. And I'm sure that some of you were going to maybe mention some of those things in more detail. So just want to give a highlight real quick for all those viewers at home. Also want to say thank you to Chief Lloyd Newman for his 25 years, 26 years, 29 years, whatever it may be. I can personally say that, in my over 10 years now as being a city administrator in multiple communities, that Chief Lloyd Newman is by far above and beyond any other chief or public safety director that I've worked with. He loves this community. You can tell that every day in his passion to serve, protect, and make sure that everyone in the community knows all the officers. His community policing is by far the best in the state. He continues to be in leadership roles by serving as the president of the state association, which I encourage everybody on the department director side to do, and really want to thank Chief Newman for all of his years of dedication to Valley Center. And it's really my honor and privilege to really work with him. He does an incredible job. And also the same goes to everyone that received the years of award service. I know that Chief Lloyd Newman would not be as successful as he is without Captain Matt Vogt as well. With starting the same time and all the years of dedication and after hours, taking time away from their family, especially as we come into these holiday times with police and fire being all the ones to receive the service awards for the years of dedication. Remember, that's the department, they don't have a day off. They always answer the call. And with you approving KP&F like you did previously, but now formally, that is really a great step forward in making this the best place to work and a great environment for the police and fire. So thank you as well, Mayor and Council, for encouraging them and embracing change as we continue to move forward into 2022. Thank you all and have a great night. Happy holidays.
All right, we move along to governing body reports. I just want to, this was on the desk here this evening. This evening, it's a thank you card from the DAR group for the Wreaths Across America. It was a very nice card, and also letting me know that they will be contacting me to attend the ceremony that will be held at the Valley Center Cemetery on December 18th at 2:00. So just want to let you know that they were very appreciative of our gift for the Wreaths Across America. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody, and we'll move on to Councilmember Stam.
I have nothing.
Councilmember Evans.
I just wish everybody a very safe and happy holidays.
Councilmember Anderson.
Oh, thank you.
Councilmember Gregory.
Just want to report that we had a good legislative roundtable last Saturday at the Sedgwick County Association of Cities. That was interesting. And it was already mentioned tonight, but don't forget on December 4th, hometown holidays, hometown Christmas, right? Right, okay.
Councilmember Kerstetter.
No, thank you.
Councilmember Wilson.
As Administrator Clark had already mentioned, I also have to throw out my name in there. I've got a pie in that auction. So no, we are not going down. So definitely come out and get involved in that. It's a great event. So that's it, Mayor.
Before I go to Councilmember Kober, I really want to say something about the pies, but I probably shouldn't. So, because, I'll end up eating my words. Councilmember Colbert.
Yeah, I have a few things that I wanted to bring up. I want everybody to be aware of that on November 22nd on Rock Road, the local chamber is having a local elected officials reception. They'd like to get as many of the council members here to come out to the chamber, and it's going to be out on Rock Road at Mark Arts, 1307 North Rock Road. That's the first one. The second one is they have a new special amendment to the TIP program for the Transportation Improvement Program from WAMPO that you guys might, and ladies might want to take a look at and see if you have any recommendations so we can pass it on to WAMPO for the improvement program. And the last one I got, last couple of days has been very interesting in that the BOC, which is the county commissioners meetings and stuff, have been holding redistricting town halls. And one of the features was last night. They had a town hall meeting, and in reference to KSA 19-204 and 4-8.247 point of redistricting the county's wards or districts, I should say. Why is this an interest to everybody? If you take a look online, some of the changes that is being proposed on this program. District 4 was going to lose a lot of ground under one of them. What was it, 3 and 6, I believe it was, that we talked about? Yeah, are about the best ones out of the 10 or 11 different maps that they showed because there won't be much change in there. Why is this important? Because it's going to affect our citizens in some way, but overall for Sedgwick County, it's going to affect that also in that any changes that they may make, there's a possibility of them coming up with 35,000 to 58,000 that will be able not to vote for at least 6 years with a change. What's fascinating is on the KSA 19-204, they say they want a variance of 5% is acceptable. But yet after the discussion today, they are now trying to push it through to have everything completed by January of next year. And from the remarks made last night with the community and the areas that were represented, Park City, Dell, Derby, and I think there was 2 other ones that was represented. I was represented online. It was brought up to their attention that the CIS director is recommending Plan 6 as the best option. What this amounts to is District 4 has over 1,300 and some people in excess of what is required to keep all districts even. So it's something that you might want to take a look at. The map is on the dashboard for the Sedgwick County redistricting map dashboard. And take a look at it because it's going to affect us. If they make the changes, then our chance of annexation, we would have to take a serious look at. Because with what they're talking about with WAMPO is that some of these maps will make a change in the people in that area that it involves. I'll give you an example, Mays. One of them pictures a third of Mays being taken up by, I think it was Ward 3. Ward 3, yeah, would be into Valley Center's encroachment. So that'd be something we'd have to take a look at also. And it's going to affect us directly or indirectly, even though we are in the center of Ward 4. So we wouldn't, if you look at it, you would say, what do we got to worry about? We're dead center of Ward 4. And believe me, with the changes that they're recommending, it's going to affect us. The other thing I'd like to bring up too is the Lions Club is seeking volunteers for the Thanksgiving dinner We'd like to have some volunteers if anybody's interested on that. And I believe that's it. There's no other business before the council. I'll make a recommendation, meeting be adjourned.
Second.
A motion and a second to adjourn. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Meeting adjourned. Thank you, council.